Good morning, friends. Welcome to today's Daily Dharma. This week we've been exploring Dukkha. We've explored the three different aspects of it. The first one, the Dukkha, which is just the unsatisfactoriness that comes with having this body and mind, which basically, being incarnated. We have this body that grows old, gets sick, and dies. And, the unsatisfactoriness challenges, the unpleasantness of that. And we have these minds that get filled with greed, hatred, and delusion of various types, and the suffering that comes with that. Yeah. So just this, the ordinary kind of challenges of having a body and mind. This is the first level of dukkha. And then the second level of dukkha, it's called Viparinami dukkha, and it has to do with the unsatisfactoriness that's due to things changing and specifically things passing away. And this level of dukkha, now it goes from just like, the unpleasantnesses of the first level of body and mind. Now the second level includes even the pleasant experiences precisely because they're going to change and end and go away. And so the unsatisfactoriness of that. And then this third, most subtle level of dukkha, the sankhara dukkha, which is about having sense doors, 5 of the body, 1 of the mind, and that these sense doors are continuously impinged upon. There's contact. It just keeps coming, and the kind of, the incessantness of that, and the, not being able to stop it, except in the dreamless sleep, when even the mind door is closed, and that's where we rest. Those 4 hours where we rest deeply because there's no sense door contact. And then I was talking about, so that's the minutia of that third level of dukkha, just sense door contact and the incessantness of this. And I talked about kind of a mundane way of experiencing that is in the when we kind of feel the grind of life, having to get up and go to work or take care of the kids, or brush the teeth, shower, clean up after a meal, just load the dishwasher again if one has a dishwasher, whatever. It's just like, oh, this again, and we can feel that, like, oh, it just kind of keeps coming. Because why? Because we got born and we have to move through this world, and there is this repetitive nature of it. So this third level of dukkha. And then yesterday we talked a bit about the subtle yet quite important difference between dukkha as a common characteristic and dukkha as a noble truth. And today I want to bring in almost like a natural progression, meaning if we're going to connect with dukkha, which is what the Buddha said, right? So the first noble truth is to be experienced. We must connect with it, meet it, know it, let ourselves be touched by it, etc. If we're going to do that, or as we do that, then very organically, without effort, spontaneously, etc., compassion arises. The com, the C-O-M Latin, in compassion, it means with suffering. If we meet dukkha and we allow ourselves to basically, through our experience, not just intellectually, but through our experience, say, yes, this is how it is. Now we are with it. We've got the calm in compassion. And of course, this knowing starts with our own experiences of body and mind. And we understand all 3 levels of dukkha. We understand the suffering that comes with craving. We understand. and we feel it, and we have compassion for that. The heart, like a tuning fork, it gets touched, and therefore it resonates. Touched by what? Touched by dukkha, and it resonates. And it's like, oh. And if we see that in our own experience, then of course that is the groundwork for having compassion for others. Because there's something that just automatically knows. You don't have to get taught it. We don't have to learn it. The mind, the chitta, the heart mind, it extrapolates automatically. If this is true for me, it's true for others. It just knows. And so there can be this compassion. And we're going to spend all of next week exploring this compassion because it is the natural uh, outcome of connecting with dukkha. Maybe that's enough talking for today. Let's go ahead and do the formal practice, cultivating the capacity to be present, not just to be present, but also the capacity to open to and be with. Because there, right there, that capacity to open to and be with is what we need to touch dukkha. So settling into your posture. And the posture is really important. I have to say this, bringing attention to the posture, maybe not the strongest uh, aspect of the Western Vipassana scene. If we were doing Zen practice, there would be a lot more attention brought to the posture. But the idea being that, of course, the body and the mind, very connected. And so if we want the mind to have certain qualities or to take on certain qualities, then we need the body to embody those qualities. So if we want to open to what is with the mind, we can't have a body or a posture that's closed. We want that to be open. So go ahead and feel now where each of your four limbs meets your torso. Where the legs meet your torso, like you could call it the groin, and where the arms meet your torso. These are, like you could say, these seams where the limbs meet the torso is kind of like a book. The book can be closed or it can be open. And of course, we want it to be open. So what would it be like for those to be open? What would that feel like? How would you have to move, if at all, to get a sense that those areas of your body are open? Maybe the shoulder blades drop down the back a bit. Of course, if you're sitting cross-legged, the seams where your legs meet your torso are going to be quite open. But even still, with there energetically, you can kind of intend for those to be open. So this is helpful in a couple ways. One, in an energetic way. When these seams are open, it allows the energy in the body to flow unimpeded. When they're closed, the energy flow is blocked. This is very helpful in maintaining alertness when one's meditating. It really helps with sloth and torpor. And then, of course, as I was mentioning, if we want the mind to be open to what is, we want the body to be open as well. Settling into the posture, Gently inviting the body to soften and opening to the body just as it is right now. How is it? Pleasant, unpleasant, neutral? Can we be with that without wanting or not wanting? Just being with it. So today is just to say these instructions are a bit more of the Vipassana mindfulness instructions, bringing in the inquiry, curiosity. The classical word is investigation, but I think folks tend to take that more as thinking. No, this is more, another I word would be intimacy. How is it right now? Can we connect? Can we open to that? And then the how is it includes, and how are we with how it is right now? Is there reactivity? Is there equanimity? So feeling the body, feeling the breath. How's the breath? Smooth, unimpeded, flowing, or is it slightly tight, kind of hard to get it in breath, maybe, or it feels like it doesn't fill completely, or it's blocked, or, you know, just noticing, opening to how it is, and how are we with that? The breath is smooth, gentle. Okay, that's fine. It's pleasant, not a problem in itself. It's fine to experience that pleasantness. But do we start to get in there and mess with it? Like, if I do this or do that, can I make this be just a bit more pleasant? No, this can be very subtle, but we can notice it, that intention, that wanting more. Or vice versa, the breath is unpleasant, etc. Do we start to manipulate it so that that unpleasantness goes away? Or are we able to just be with it how it is? Includes the body, of course, includes every experience at every sense door that can be known. We can practice in this way. So let's go ahead and do that now, using the breath and the body as anchor, and yet noticing any sense door that gets contacted. How is it? How are we with it? Thank you for your practice. And you know, thank you for your practice isn't just like some stock phrase that uh, a teacher says to the meditators at the end of a sitting. It's not just an empty phrase. This being able to first know and then have the capacity to be with how things are is actually a radical form of social activism. How? How is that? Well, when we don't have the capacity to know what's happening in the heart and mind, or the ability to be with it, then what happens is the defilements come into the heart and mind and flood it. And there's no way to be with it. You know, the flood, this is what's meant, you know, like in the sutta where the David asked the Buddha, how did you cross the flood? Or we hear about crossing over to the other shore of enlightenment. Well, what's getting crossed? What's getting crossed is the flooding of the heart and mind with the defilements, the asavas in the Pali. They flood the heart and mind, and it gets overwhelmed by them. And with no ability to know them or be with them, then the only available option, the only outcome that can happen is they get acted out. And, you know, this acting out is the source of so much suffering in this world. And so this ability to know what's happening in the heart and mind and to be with it, even to some degree, is a gift, not just to ourselves and our own lack of suffering, but we refrain from acting out the defilements with the people and the world around us. So thank you. Yes, it's really an offering to the world to be able to do this, how to whatever extent that we're able to in any given moment. Okay, that's it for today. Next week, we will explore the compassion practice. Look forward to doing that with you. Until then, be well, take good care. Bye-bye.